Welcome everyone to another episode of the Warmup. I'm here with the guys, man. It's me, Chris B. Humble. I got Coachella, who's in here for the 8th straight week. And I also got Kev RL in the building. Say what's up to everyone who is tuning in to us today, to this evening, morning, wherever they're tuning in, whatever time they're tuning in. Say what's up, guys.
Yo, what my bonus at?
Bonus for what?
Hey, you putting out stats out there, man. 8 straight weeks, it sounds like a bonus to me.
Oh yeah. You missed the deadline. It was 9 straight weeks and it expired last week. So sorry. You gotta wait till the next 8-week cycle. So if you're here for 8 following weeks, you good. You may then look in the mail.
So we getting bonuses for doing the minimum now.
Well, I mean, for him it's extra credit because it's a struggle to do the minimum for him.
Chris, don't be the man. You know what they say? Don't let the man keep you down. Right now, you're the man.
What are you talking about? I'm just saying.
Yeah, we're
Don't
trying to
let
lift
the
you
man
up.
keep
We're
you
trying to lift you up. We're trying to set the bar like hell for you. So
I
you can,
understand.
You know.
Exactly. I understand your biggest challenge, and your biggest challenge is being here.
But I'm here.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. That's your challenge. That's your stretch goal.
Hey, you know what? Let's go back to the your skill.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, again, if this is your first time rocking with us, man, this is a place where we talk about sports, current events, and everything else in between through the lens of black culture. We're here every Tuesday, so check us out here if you're on YouTube. This is where we are. Check out our channel, like, subscribe, like the video, tell a friend to tell a friend, hit the notification bell so that you know when we get the new video drops. If you're not on the audio side, on the video side, and you want to listen to us on the audio side, we do have the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Well, your supplier, whoever your podcast supplier is. And check us out on Instagram, check us out on Twitter. Follow us on those platforms and engage with us. We're at Grindhouse NTWK. And also same thing for Reddit, man. Follow us there. And if you want to chit chat with us and, you know, get with the grassroots movement, man, we do have a Discord at Grindhouse Network, which is searchable as a public Discord. Anything else, man, that I miss?
I'm gonna just repeat that for them. Is Grindhouse NTWK for all the social media handles. Grindhouse NTWK. You had a little choppy moment there.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
That's that karma coming back at you, man. All that hate you been spewing out. That's what happens. Instantaneous karma coming right back at you.
Oh, okay.
He said instantaneous.
I don't know, man. If that's the case,
I ain't got to wait for that at all.
You better
That's why
watch
I'm over here
out.
like this.
Good thing I'm recording then, because you know what I'm saying, it was clean on my end, so I'm gonna just leave it at that. So let's get right into it then. You know, we got the playoffs, the play-in have concluded, and we're into the playoff first round. And there's a lot of storylines that we picked up that's kind of been in the air, so to speak, man. But we're gonna focus on a few, man, and then we're gonna talk about some of our favorite matchups in the first round. So first thing, man, is, you know, this guy, man, arguably top 5 quarterback, top 5 shooting guard of the NBA, man, James Harden. He's been ever present in the NBA for at least a good, 10, 13 years, ever since he came out as a young scrap in Oklahoma City, man. He made noise, and then he went off to Houston and, almost made it, Golden State kind of stopped that, and then after that he started, traveling, became a traveling man. So now he's in Philadelphia. He wants his money and he wants to chip, and he's with now arguably one of his best teammates ever with Joel Embiid, and MVP candidate. They're in the East again. They're number 4 in the Eastern Conference, and they're taking out the Raptors with ease. But the question I want to get at, man, is James Harden, man. Is this the most pressure, arguably top 5 shooting guard of all time?
Pause, man. You keep saying that like it's written
because
in stone,
it's
man.
relevant.
You know it's not.
It's relevant. It's relevant.
I'm
This is the most
really-
pressure.
It's written somewhere though.
So,
It's an opinion piece.
I'll start with you, Coachella. You seem like you got a lot of opinions over there. We should just call you opinionated Coachella.
You don't want to throw out this opinionated opinion
I said arguably.
that he's top 5, huh?
I said arguably.
He said arguably.
That
He did. He did the
Second-
first time.
second.
At least the first time. I don't know about the second
First
time.
time, yeah.
He dropped it in there.
You know he's slick, man.
In the
He's
disclaimers.
slick. All right, so let's be real, man. Dave Morey, he traded for Ben Simmons. He traded Ben Simmons for Harden. This is the trade he wanted to do, apparently, for the whole time, man, because he had, in hindsight, better offers to unload Simmons and get a player better than what the Harden we're getting right now. So I say that to say this is not the Houston Harden, right? And I think Philly fans, the sports media was wanting the Philly Harden to just flip that switch and start balling again, man. And going back to your comment, Chris, I roll with Golden State. Houston killed themselves. No one told them to miss a gazillion 3-pointers in that series to lose. What was it, Game 6 or Game 7? Which goes to another point. Even Houston James Harden could not rise to the occasion when the spotlight was shining on him the brightest. I mean, this is a dude that let an 80-year-old Manu Ginobili block his 3-point shot. Okay? He's on the record books for letting the oldest man in the history of the game block his shot, right? So I say that Harden's a baller, offensive weapon with the old rules. Maybe the rules messed him up. Maybe he's still injured. May take a while to heal from. But if Philly goes to the chip or their progression through the playoffs, let's just stick with that. It's because of Embiid, of course, right? He's a cog. He's the center of gravity. And Maxey. So I think what this trade did was really unlock Maxey. Harden, his defense has been something to wish more from. But you gotta respect Harden's long ball. He on one leg, this dude can still shoot that 3. He just can't get the space he once could before, right? So a defender has to stay on him. And because of his reputation, he can still pull some of that gravity towards his side of the court. Which, at least, Maxey is young, bruh. Spraying chicken out there. He's doing one-man fast breaks. In the half-court offense, man, Maxey only has to shake one person instead of like half of the team when it's just him and Embiid because nobody else can do anything. So I think that's the key to the playoff series, man. I think if they're going to make it, and Harden's been doing good this last game, he's more facilitator right now. Let Embiid do his thing and let Maxey cook. I think that's their key to going anywhere.
So you're saying
but top 5, no.
Much pressure.
So are you saying?
I just wanted to add that in. I'm sorry.
So are you saying that there's no pressure on him there because they got Maxey and Embiid, or are you saying that there's a lot of pressure?
As far as the pressure, yeah, there's pressure on him. I was talking to Kev about this before. This is the era of like super team of player building, players playing with friends or comfortable skills, right? I think there's a notion that there's the narrative out there that a lot of people don't like how he got out of Houston and how he got out of the Nets, right? This is the team that he chose. He chose the Nets. He chose Philly. Houston chose him. So if he doesn't win or doesn't do what he needs to do to at least get them to the chip, I think if he got to the chip, that would change the narrative a little bit. The same way he did for Chris Paul. If he doesn't go, it's going to be a knock on his resume. But he has pressure, man, because all the Phillies championship hopes are riding on him, not Embiid. Embiid's balling. Embiid is balling.
He's not riding on Embiid though. I mean, even though he is balling, you're saying because he's balling, we take him for granted, so we're not relying on him anymore. Like, I'm confused.
Good point. He does have the pressure, but Embiid's rising to the occasion.
He is.
Because if you notice, all of the conversations on Harden, it's not on Embiid needs to do more. Embiid is giving it his all. So you're right, he does. I imagine he feels the pressure. There's pressure on him, but he's rising to the occasion. Harden, he has that narrative that he does not rise to the occasion. Therefore, I would assume there's more pressure on him. Because if they fail, are we gonna blame Embiid?
I don't know. Some people may blame Doc Rivers. We'll see.
We'll see. You gotta see how they fall.
Yeah.
Hey, who lost more 3-1 leads in the playoffs than him?
Hey.
That's another thing too. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So
how am I gonna blame Harden though? Like, He just joined the team. If I may jump right in,
Go
like
for it.
he's a mid-season pickup. I understand that sometimes we expect those to be a huge catalyst, but at the same time, my expectations aren't that high for him coming in and just bam, all of a sudden, all on him now to get the chick. He's coming in. Yes, he should add that few. He should take them up a notch to where they're competitive and they should be getting further. But to say is the pressure's only on him, I can't do that. It's a dance. It's like we got to tango. Like he's not the only one out there playing. He has to integrate within the team. The team got to integrate him. It's a two-way street. So same way with the coaches and stuff. Everybody got to be like this. It can't be like me. Dude, I just drawn when I look like a unicorn. Like we got to work together. We got to make it happen. So there's going to be pieces that have to be in place to where it can't just be him. He just joined the organization. Like how can it be him? Even though I agree with this whole he picked his destination. So if you're out there making these picks, we expect some results from these picks. But maybe you're just a bad GM like some of these other players out here, and you just don't really know where you need to be and what you need to surround yourself with. That's a knock there. But James, he's a good player. His relevance has faded for me over time. And I guess that's why I'm not having high expectations, and that's why I don't feel the pressure he may be under. But I hear Charles Barkley and those other guys. Stephen A. Smith said Stephen A. Smith said he's under pressure to be relevant. I agree with that.
You know,
I agree with that.
Yeah, because there's a conversation. Because to get a chip, you got to have, they say, a top 10 player, right? They got to be, the next one got to be a top 15 guy. It's like, is Harden now just a top 20 guy with his injury or decline, whatever it is? So, yeah, to be relevant, he's definitely not the Houston Harden. That's for sure.
He's not the Houston Harden. He left it in Houston.
All right, the club.
Chris, be humble. You got a lot of thoughts.
Man, I are we watching the same James Harden? I mean, we just clearly just brisked over all the details. I mean, you guys kind of touched on it. He got there midseason. How did he get there midseason? By saying, "Hey, I don't want to be here no more." By taking games off in the Nets. By being apathetic in their losses. They're being blown out. Like blown out losses. Nets have not looked really good when he was in his funk. Public. And I don't know if it was publicly or not, but he definitely criticized Kyrie. He was out here rocking the boat to get out of that situation.
Yeah.
And not only that, yes, he's also dictated where he wanted to go. And Philadelphia was one of his landing spots. He wasn't saying, "Oh, ship me off anywhere." He wasn't saying, "Send me off to Orlando." He didn't say, "Go send me off to Cleveland." Like he wanted to go to a premier franchise where they had a legitimate chance of winning the championship. That's exactly what I think his criteria for moving to another, for his trade negotiations, his criteria, whatever. So this is not the first time we've seen this. You said Houston chose him. Houston didn't choose him. He chose Houston. He was a free agent where he left OKC. He left OKC.
They gave him the best offer.
But this is my point, right? He wanted to have things his way. He wanted the narrative set in a way that is formulated in his mind that he will get the greatest benefit from, whether that's just being catered to 100%. Because the reason that he left OKC was a difference of $8 million. Now, $8 million sound like a lot to me, but
it ain't a lot to an NBA team.
80 versus 80 versus 76 or 72.
Yeah,
when you get to still play with arguably the second best player at the time, in Kevin Durant, or at least a rising star. You had a budding star in Russell Westbrook. So, and you guys are already made it to the finals. Like, this is a young team who made it to the finals and lost to Miami Heat. To leave that because you want $8 more million, that just says That just says a lot. Well, maybe I have the numbers wrong, but it was a very small amount of money.
Yeah, it was like 5. Yeah, no, you're right. It's like 5 or 8 mil.
So and not a year. This is total, like over the span of the contract.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he could have probably made it up in endorsements or something, but that's fine. Whatever. He's forced his way to Houston. He's had a hand in, like y'all say, LeBron is out here GMing. I want this guy. I want that guy. You know, he signed off on Chris Paul. He signed off on Westbrook. He signed off on Carmelo. He signed off on D'Antoni. He signed off on a lot of players.
Okay, so
and he fought for D'Antoni several times
Westbrook.
too.
Yes. Huh?
He definitely signed off on Westbrook.
Yeah.
When Chris Paul was the best match for him.
Yeah. And so my thing is this. Okay, you want to have the champions. You want to be the championship player. You want to have it done your way, with you being the guy, the most lauded guy, not necessarily the best player, the most lauded guy on the team, and where people cater to you. And you've now done it at least twice. You forced your way out of organizations and left, some debris behind, where people had to clean up. So, is there pressure on you now that they again reinvested in you, this new organization? Yes, this is probably the most pressure he's ever been in. I think at this point in time, we talking about art. I said it. Look, I'm not the only one. You know what I'm saying? I think it's common knowledge now, arguably top 5 best shooting guard of all time. This may knock him down.
Who's the other 4?
Allen Iverson, Dwayne Wade, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan.
So, all right. So you're telling me you got it? Y'all got a team. Got a team built. Who's on the team? Irrelevant. You got one spot, shooting guard. You got 2 choices: Harden or T-Mac, healthy Tracy McGrady. Who you picking?
Did you just say healthy Tracy McGrady? Yes, healthy.
And a healthy Harden.
Yes. Healthy Tracy McGrady to me is better than healthy James Harden. However, we're talking about the tenure as an NBA player, and that actually takes into consideration injuries. They take into consideration your playoff results, and he really was not making it deep. And honestly, Houston Rockets were making it deeper without him, with him being injured. So they, I have to take that into consideration. You know what I'm saying? So when I say arguably top 5, I'm not talking about talent. I'm talking about the accomplishments and his contribution to whatever team in this era, all that stuff.
Production, yeah.
Oh, in that case, then Reggie.
Reggie what?
Miller.
So you saying Reggie Miller is a better player than James Harden? You pick Reggie Miller?
Oh, you ain't said about the list.
Arguably top 5. Okay, so hold on. Let's So where's he at? And okay, how about this? You tell me 5 players better than James Harden historically, shooting guard.
I agree with everything you said. The 4, right? I was with Tracy. You did the decade run, including injuries and all this stuff. Okay, all right, fine. Because Harden had up until now, Harden was freaking durable, even with his affinity for the nightlife. But if I'm thinking about it, I would take, based off your list, you're gonna tell me that Ray Allen is worse than Harden?
Yes. As far as what he's been able to contribute, he was a beast coming out of UConn. He was killing in Milwaukee. He was a different player in Milwaukee than he was in Boston Celtics and also Miami Heat.
Yeah.
Like we know
he played defense.
Yeah.
And
he played defense.
But we've seen how far Ray Allen can get you as the main guy in Seattle and in Milwaukee. So James Harden can get you. If James Harden gets you the rest of the conference finals
with Chris Paul, with the point guard. So let's look at Ray Allen's teams back then. Milwaukee Bucks teams.
That's a good argument.
Yeah, he didn't have another Hall of Famer rolling with him.
He was still the main guy. I understand what
Harden
you're saying.
was the main guy with the Hall of Famer who and Chris Paul is still balling. It's not like
I think that's the
Ray
big one.
Allen on Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's a Hall of Famer, but he was diminished.
So tell me the best teammate that Ray Allen had prior to Boston. Since we're going there.
Milwaukee, he had big dog Glenn Robinson, right?
Glenn Robinson, yeah. He had Ben Baker.
He had
He had Sam Cassell.
A younger Cassell. Well, no, he was older.
He was older. It was after the Houston Rocket days.
After the Houston run.
But
yeah.
he was still impactful.
He was still balling. He's not a Hall of Famer. None of those cats are Hall of Fame.
True. That's fine. So you telling me so you got okay, so in conclusion, you got Ray Allen better than James Harden. I just want to make sure you have this on wax.
My answer criteria. If I had to pick, it's Tracy. I would definitely pick Tracy over Harden. But when you did the decade run, I have to acknowledge Tracy's body was not able to hold up to the rigors of the game, unfortunately, for him and for the fans. So with that, I'm looking at the totality, impact on the team, what they can do, all this, that, and the third. Harden, Ray in today's game will be a killer, and Ray plays defense. Ray can handle the rock.
So
he kind of played in today's era a little bit.
Older than him.
Yeah.
A prime Ray was in today's era.
So in conclusion, it's Tracy McGrady or Ray Allen.
It's Tracy McGrady, but based off your criteria,
was your best bet, man. I think you could argue the
Tracy.
Chris Paul thing. Yeah, I mean, I would argue the Chris Paul thing.
I mean,
again, that's a Hall of Famer.
That's a fair point, but like I said, even Tracy McGrady played with a Hall of Famer Yao Ming.
All right, true, but in big games, Tracy showed up.
Easy.
Big games. Ray Allen ended the Spurs championship run that year, man. Harden is not hitting pressure shots.
Ray Allen.
When everything comes down to it, Harden is not going to win you that game. Ray Allen would take that shot and make that shot.
Well, Ray Allen's role was different. He wasn't the guy. Yeah. He wasn't the go-to guy. He was a cog in a wheel in a productive team. So, yeah, if you make James Harden the fifth option behind LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh,
let's go back to the Boston years. Then.
Even then,
he wasn't the fifth option. He was a second.
He wasn't even a second. He was third. It was Paul.
He was second. KG was third.
It was Paul Pierce's team, and KG was
defense.
It was defense. He was also averaging over 20 points again.
Yeah, he was averaging over 20. Yep.
Yeah, go ahead and look it up. Google that.
Look it up. He was easily doing that. He was getting these baseline shots, those jumpers.
He was a mid-range killer.
No, I'm not saying he wasn't part of it, but Ray Allen was the second option.
And Ray Allen was not the second option.
No, Ray Allen was not the second option. Ray Allen was
really
the third
struggling.
Option. Were you watching it? Were you watching the games?
No, he wasn't.
Yes, Ray Allen was the second option.
Hey! I told you he wasn't watching basketball until 2015 when the Warriors went to the championship.
We out of pocket though. We talking about Celtics now. We still bring it back to James though.
But, yeah, we went off the okay. Back to the legacy thing. The pressure. Yes, he's feeling pressure. I think I'm adding legacy to it. I don't think if he doesn't go, it's not going to hurt his legacy. Because kind of like what Kev said, unfortunately, it's kind of written. We have to do a lot to change it. Because he's regarded as a great regular season player now and not a pressure player.
Yeah.
But as far as the pressure now, it's definitely on. I'm with you, Chris. I like your analysis on it.
Yeah, I would have to agree on the pressure being there. It's probably the biggest. I think this is going to be a very telltale sign, or more indefinite results of saying, hey, this guy is not necessarily a top 5 player anymore. Like if they get out before the Eastern Conference Finals and they fall short of that, because this is the best teammate he's ever had. He is one of the best coaches he's ever had. There's nothing really more you can do to, basically cement yourself as a very top tier player. He'd be just relegated to a very good offensive
I think
player.
I think he could if they, because we'll talk about this later. I'm sure Philly doesn't have any depth, right? I think if next year they fix their bench, expand the bench, and say he wins the chip, I think that'll do something to change his narrative.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm saying, man, it's still a short time, a short turnaround to get everything clicking on the right cylinder like we expected it to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious if James Harden plays well and they still don't make it to the chip. Is it still on him? Like, what are we looking for here? Like, if he plays well, steps up, but they still fall short for whatever reason, because there are 4 other players on the court with him. He's not the only one out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do we do then? Is it just about Philly winning the chip or not, or are we watching to see how he's out there performing?
We're looking to see how he performs. I think. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I think because like you're saying, there's many ways. There's many ways to lose a game, and there's only a few ways to win a game, and everything has to go right. I think at the end of the day, what we've seen from him in the past is him checking out. What we've seen him in the past is him making bad decisions. What we've seen him in the past is become apathetic, and he's never done anything to like dig deep and show like he's giving it like his all. Like, we know Westbrook ever since he left OKC, or ever since KD left him in OKC, he hasn't been outside the first round, or I guess in this case he never made it to the playoffs this season. But we can always respect Russ for giving it his all. We never say that he's short of the game.
True.
So, we understand that dynamic, and we understand that like there's other people who like Kawhi, who's like, oh, I was just tired. That's why I did. Or Paul George, I was in a dark place. Like, people really look at that as a invaluable trait, and that actually is a determining factor of like for a lot of people on whether they sway to the respect side or to like the like you're not really about, you're not trying to win. You don't have that heart.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was gonna say the chip. I think people still talk about that, him not getting the chip. But if he's not going out like, and we'll talk about this team later, like Utah hasn't made it. But I don't hear people saying it's because of Donovan. He might have a few. People always hate on, the hate is wide, right? But, Donovan goes out swinging every year. Mm-hmm. And you can't say that he didn't try. Like, this dude wanted to come out there and play on one leg, Well, Harden, he'll be in the game and you look at the box score, it's like, this is big void. Like, you think the printer ran out of ink sometimes.
Yeah.
So I wasn't gonna say the chip, but Harden's gonna have to like just ball out and they lose for people to be like, okay, he tried.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I know we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it because Philadelphia has a big spotlight right now, and I mean amongst other things, there's a lot of storylines, a lot of spotlights on a lot of people. So we're gonna talk about the next one, man. Utah Jazz. Actually, of all the spotlights, this is probably one of the smaller ones. No one really cares about the Utah Jazz. Meaning, like you just said it. Like, no one's really talking about the Utah Jazz. But they've been in the playoffs for at least 3 straight years. I want to say 4 to 6 straight years. They've always retooled and gotten a little bit better. They've traded Ricky Rubio for Mike Conley. They got Donovan Mitchell, who is a freaking, elite shooting guard right now, and he's actually a budding star.
Yes, he is.
Budding superstar, actually. You got Rudy Gobert, who is Defensive Player of the Year nominee almost every year. And, Bogdanovich is knockdown guy. Royce O'Neal, he's there. I don't know. He's kind of like the wishbone of Bone Thugs and Harmony. And, you just got a good cast of characters, essentially, that is always just in the mix. You got Quinn Snyder. He's a respected coach. But they never get anywhere. I never passed the second round, I can tell you that much. So let's say, they're number 5 right now. They're playing against the Dallas Mavericks. They just dropped their first game, so it's tied 1-1. And this is without Luka. I mean, Dallas is a good team, though, but it's the playoffs, man. So the question with this is should they fall short of the first or second, like let's just say they don't get past the second round, so they don't make it to the rest of the conference finals. If that's the case, is this the last dance for Utah? Is it time to blow the team up? Kev, I'll start with you, man. We like to blow the team up around here.
Yeah, we do. And I'm looking at the team, right? I'm trying to what does blowing up look like? They got so many good players. You mentioned a few of them already. You have Jordan Clarkson, which you forgot to mention, but
yep.
Yeah, and I'm like, Mike Conley, mid-range game is tight. It'll be time to make a shakeup. You have to do something. I know we're talking about Rudy Gobert. I know he gets a lot of hate sometimes, undeserved. But I don't see how they can move forward, continuing with the same lineup if it's not getting them any traction. Yeah. D. Mitch, he isn't going anywhere. Like you mentioned, he's a budding superstar. That's hands down. If you want to argue that, please put it in the comment section. Let us know why you think he's not.
Yeah.
I know Shaq came at him one time, with all that fire and all that heat, yo, man, we can't. They say you can't make it to the thing with you, and he handled that situation very nicely, I believe, and he had a good season, and I hope that carries over into the playoffs. Tough start in the beginning, losing to Dallas, but if they don't make it out the first round, even against a good team like Dallas, you still have to question if we have the right pieces. Are we working with the right pieces?
Yep.
I don't see how you could continue with those same things. You can't be insane now, doing the same thing over and over and expect different results. So something has to change. But I wouldn't want to get rid of some of these, like Jordan Clarkson and Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley. They're all guards, which is kind of sad. But I wouldn't want to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So, and they're all point guards too.
Yeah. Well, Mitch is a shooting guard, but he can play point.
Yeah,
he's a ball handler.
Point.
Yeah, he's a ball handler.
Yeah.
So
they gotta do something, man. But what position and who they bring in order to change whatever is wrong? Because I can't really see what's wrong. I'll be honest, man. My analytics scales ain't working with Jazz. I just can't see what's the gap. They just seem to not get over that hump. Just lose. I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead, Kurt. I know you got something to say.
I know he was injured when they traded him, man. But they're missing Uncle Joe, man. They're missing Uncle Joe. Especially when he was healthy, man. He was another facilitator because Mitchell is a score first person. He gets the ball, he's trying to kill you, right? He's trying to put the ball in the basket. Joe was a facilitator. He took some of that pressure off of Mitch. He got Rudy involved. And I'm looking at the salary cap, man. They have 2 max contracts right now with Mitchell, deservingly, and Rudy, who a lot of people debate if Shaq was the number one. Shaq was the number one cat. How do you get a max contract? You average like 11 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
They paid Rudy because of his defensive prowess, right? And when we talked about the Jazz before, it's like they have everything, but they're missing something. It's like I equate it to you have a friend who has everything. Their birthday comes around, like, what do I get you? I don't. You have everything, right?
Yeah.
The Jazz are missing perimeter defense. Rudy cleans up. Rudy is like the giant eraser back there in the paint. They're missing perimeter defense because you got Bogdanovich, who tries to hold his own. Conley and Mitch are small.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Who else is out there in the perimeter? Royce is okay, but he's not a lockdown guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that will be the missing piece. I don't think they need more offense. They need a perimeter guy who can make their man stick to him, a league average 3-point shooter. Who could pass the ball? Not a superstar. League average. This is a league average cat who has slightly better than league average defense. That's what they need. Now, question is, how do you get that? Because money's tight. And to your question, Chris, I don't think don't blow it up. They have a good foundation. But you can do a lot if you get rid of one of those max contracts.
And you know which one you get rid of, right?
It's gonna be Rudy. Like I'm telling y'all, I watched. So the Jazz offense went through the roof, right? And there's this tweet floating around that Donovan Mitchell only passes the ball to Rudy 2 times a game. Since they've reduced the amounts of time that Rudy gets the ball, the offense has started to soar. Rudy has come a long way in his development, but he still has like this sometimes awkward motions in his game, right? I looked at a 10-minute clip of Rudy getting the ball in the paint where an NBA caliber person would be able to finish, but it doesn't happen for Rudy. Offense is not his game. Can you name another center in the league now that's getting a max contract just for playing defense?
Good question. I gotta think about all the centers first of all, and then max contract centers. So
The Suns haven't even paid.
There's not many of them.
yeah,
And Aiden has a much better offensive game than Rudy.
Oh, come on, man. That's not even.
It's not, but the Suns haven't given him his max contract. No, they like. Let's see how
Actually,
this
he
year
about
goes.
to get it though. They did
he
shaft
got
him on that, but he about to get it though.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a max contract center not named Embiid or Jokic.
Yeah,
yeah, that's true. I don't know of anyone to be honest with you, off the top of my head.
So off the top of my head, Utah is saying that Rudy Gobert is the third best center in the NBA. That he's on par with Embiid and Jokic. Now, defense, the dude holds it down. But they need somebody more versatile in that spot, man. Because on offense, you're playing 4 and 5.
So, good point. I can see that progression of thought on why Rudy Gobert is the one to go. Yeah, man. Look, I like Don. I like Mike Conley's my guy. Rudy Gay, he's a solid veteran. He's coming off the bench. And Rudy Gobert, I can give him respect, even though he's kind of a 1 to 2 dimensional, one and a half. He's a 1.5 dimensional player. He's a good pick and roll to the basket, get your alley oop. Oh, that actually gives me a good answer for your question. Clint Capella got the max contract in Houston. And then they traded him a season or two later to the Atlanta Hawks. So yeah.
They sure did. Yeah.
But
they sure did. Yeah.
So it's a time to let this team go, man. I think so. Look, man, they have everything on paper that looks good, including the venue in Utah is cold. You know what I mean? People don't like the cold. I think the elevation is a little bit higher. It's not Denver. It's not Mile High, but it's up there. So you got that. You have, at this point, you have D Wade as a minority owner, so you can get that first round access to a NBA legend, pretty much a Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer if he's not already in there. You have Mike Conley. He's a veteran. He's battle tested. He knows how to play in the playoffs. They have not really gotten this guy unlocked since he's gotten to Utah. So that's a thing. That's probably a coaching thing. Rudy Gobert, yeah, he is what he is. Obviously, he's overpaid. But this is the thing about that. I understand what you're saying. Mike Conley was in the same predicament, man. Or at least with the Memphis Grizzlies, he was a free agent and he was a valuable asset. And he probably wasn't the best point guard in the NBA. He wasn't Chris Paul, but he was you could not replace him at the time. And the way that free agency worked, if there's no one you can replace, your key asset that you're gonna lose, you gotta resign him. And if the numbers look right and the leverage is there, sometimes it's about what the market is. What market you are in. And at the time, they probably were in the market where there ain't no centers out there. So, guess what? Rudy Gobert gets the max contract because that's how the market works. So, I get what you're saying.
I like that. I like that. I like how you compare it to Memphis as two small market teams.
Yep.
So, would the answer for Utah, would it be, because this era of Memphis is too young. I think their aspirations are definitely higher. It's kind of like grit and grind in the beginning. Do you think that Utah should pivot and just become the grit and grind Memphis? Not in play style, but as far as the goal for the end of the year. Hey, if we make it in the middle of the playoffs before we get knocked out, that's a success. Because I'm pretty sure outside of Memphis, I don't know if people really consider the grit and grind era Memphis as title contenders. They definitely that's gonna be a tough out for
Yeah.
sure. So maybe that's Utah's thing because Memphis, skilled GM, you got Ja, you got all these young guys coming up now, and they did that by getting rid of Gasol, and Ja Morant, right?
Yeah. You mean Conley?
Not Ja Morant,
Conley.
Conley.
Conley and Zebo. And Tony
Yeah.
Allen.
So that whole era.
Yeah.
So should Utah just pivot and be like that now?
So, to answer your question directly, I think that they should be looking for ways to retool and maybe get some stuff off the books. Maybe start to trade, get some draft picks, start to rebuild in a very marginal way. You could probably get rid of Gobert for some picks or something like that, and it'll be a transition over time. So like what you said with the Grizzlies, it was a transition over time. They first got rid of Tony Allen, then they moved Zebo to the bench. Then they got rid of Gasol, and then it was Zebo and Conley, but Conley was injured. So but they gave a lot of the younger people time to play. So like Dylan Brooks and players like that. And it was only when we got the second round pick and we knew Ja was on the board, we were okay with letting go of Conley. So it was a very slow transition.
Yeah.
I would be okay with them doing that. I think if they keep, obviously you keep the skeleton crew. The skeleton crew is basically Don Mitchell, and that's pretty much. I mean, honestly, you could probably get rid of Mike Conley at this point because they're not doing anything. They're not making it deeper than the playoffs than they would if they had Ricky Rubio. But they have a better offense. They have the most threes made each second season in a row, I believe. Last year, I know they were number one seeded, and now
they were number one. But even back then, I was thinking, yeah, that's great, but they're not scary.
Yeah,
they're not scary like when Golden State had it, and when Houston was raining threes. Houston was scary. I'm like, man, they get a 4-game run in a series. Wow.
Yeah.
Utah never. I was never like, it's like, okay, great, they're number one in threes. That's cute.
They were playing good basketball.
Yeah.
But they weren't. To me, they weren't scary.
And
I just didn't see them getting a 4-game streak together to win the series.
Yeah, and they had a couple of double-digit winning streaks in that season.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. I felt like they had everything that they would have needed, at least on paper and in the season, in practice, essentially, to make a deep run. They couldn't get past the Mavericks, or was it the Clippers? I think it was the Clippers.
The Clippers put them out.
Yeah.
They had to give. Yeah.
They got past the Grizzlies, and then they lost. They dropped the game to the Grizzlies, and then they lost in the second round. And I was just like, what? So, I would keep Don Mitchell, retool around him, keep Jordan Clarkson as a good spark off the bench. Everyone else is expendable. And again, it could be a slow transition. They may not even leave or get out of the playoffs, or maybe they'll just miss the playoffs one season. But that's okay.
I disagree with the slow transition because if we're comparing it to, I think still comparing it to Memphis, right? You were dealing with the older economy. You're dealing with Mitchell, who is Conley, that grit and grind era guys. They love Memphis, and I would think there's something about Memphis to love. I compare it to Oakland. Mm-hmm. I don't hear people talking about Salt Lake like that, right? So I think it has to be a quicker transition because you don't want to lose Mitch, because once a star turns, he can go. Mm-hmm. So I would envision it something quicker, like how Portland is doing. Portland is everything they can to lose. Right? Everything they can. Hey, that dude's playing too good. Give him some fake injury. Put him on the bench. What are you doing? We need this lottery pick. You got to do something quick. And they're doing that with the older Dame. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So I think that would be a more ideal way. I'm trying to think of a team that's successfully done that with a young star.
With a young star?
They're coming. Yeah, youngish.
Good question. Usually, if you're a young star, it's because your team was already in the lottery and you didn't have much.
So I'm just a team that was good that went back. You know what? Uh, Going back to Kobe, LA after Shaq left. So I'm thinking about a star that had success early, little sucked, and then had better years later on.
Yeah.
So LA, but
look at those 2
they
years.
got lucky with that Gasol trade.
Yeah, I mean they didn't get lucky. Actually, it worked out for both sides because I think they traded Gasol for Gasol because Marc Gasol was under contract with LA, and to be honest, Memphis wanted to get rid of Pau Gasol. We was tired of him, to be honest with you, because he was playing in a fashion that wasn't favorable to the crowd. Meaning, he was basically kind of crying all the time when he gets touched, and we was at here like, bro, you gotta toughen up, bro.
It's Memphis.
Yeah. But what happened with Kobe, just to provide insight, right? What happened with with LA was, they didn't have nobody. They had who's the guy who looked like Chris Brown? Shannon
Brown.
Shannon Brown. They had Shannon Brown. I don't think they even had Lamar Odom yet. They had Smush Parker, the famous Smush Parker. They had Kwame Brown.
Man, I don't remember that
with
team.
the hair, man.
Yo.
Yeah,
that wasn't Verajal. Not Verajal. There was another Booyah chick or something.
Yeah.
I remember some dude. Yeah.
So I mean, this team was not favorable. Like this team was like they dumped everything. So if you're saying that, like dump everything except for Donovan Mitchell just so you can get that return in 2 years, okay, that's fine. But they're gonna be out for 2 years.
What would you hope to get though? So we talked about going fast or slow. Given that we've also talked about them looking really good on paper, what would you hope to get? Like, what would you hope to change? Would you just hope to catch that piece that has that extra something that changes the dynamic? Because we talked about wing defending in the perimeter. But what other gaps and holes you can see that you can just say, let me scrap what I have and bring all these new people in? And then what gaps would you continue to have? Like with Conley leaving, then you don't have any veterans present. Not that we've seen the benefit of that right now, but you're gonna lose some things. You won't necessarily fill those things back, and you would hope to get some things that you didn't have, right? What would be those things? What would be those things you would get that you don't have right now through either a quick or slow approach? And then how would you deal with the things that you would have lost, like the veterans or defense in the paint?
My answer is short because it's a small market. They got to go through the draft, and the players they get from the league are going to be support players. The Utah is not going to trade for a star.
Yeah.
A free agent is not going to come to Utah. So they got to draft the next star, hopefully get the lottery or somewhere close, and then fill out with free agents for like support players.
Yeah. I don't know exactly. Yeah, slow or fast. I don't know which one's better, but I do think what's missing. I mean, I can tell you what it is. It's not on paper, but I can tell you they're missing some heart. They don't have any. They don't have a heart of the team right now. Who's the heart of the team? Don Mitchell, but But there's not a veteran who is putting their fingerprints on the culture of the team, like
Pat Bev,
like Jay Crowder.
Pat Bev.
Yeah, like what's that guy's name? We always say Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder is always
Jay Crowder. Oh man, I love that guy. I love that guy.
So
Chris Paul.
Like there are players who, when they are on the team, they demand a certain level. I mean, Draymond Green, they demand a certain level of commitment. And you know, if you're gonna half step, they're gonna call you out. Jimmy Butler, like. Haslam,
Pat Riley.
Exactly.
That's the whole piece.
Hey, where you gonna get that? You can't get out of the draft though, right? You're gonna have to get that in the league.
Some of that, because it's veteran shit. But
there's always like that lightning in the bottle because Anthony Edwards. Granted, Pat Bev is there, right? Can't take that away. But Anthony's swagger, man, bruh.
He's fun.
With Pat, Cat's playing. If Butler had this cat, he might still be there.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, I think that is credit to Pat Bev because I think what they did was they challenged Ant to play defense. I don't think he was committed to defense. I think he mentioned that they challenged him to play defense, and now he's taking on more of a just a hard nosed role. I mean, he's a big guy. Y'all seen Ant like
he is. Yep.
He's
Yep.
stalking.
Yeah, no, he's massive, man.
So,
he's a big dude.
That challenge, I think, is just what kind of ignited D'Angelo. He's still D'Angelo. He's just gonna come down. He's gonna hit these floaters. He's gonna never play too fast, never play too slow, and he's gonna always be even kill. Cat, again, he's shaky, but when he's not shaky,
but his highs are high.
Yeah, I say when he's not shaky, he's the
He's
best
the most
player
talented
on the court.
cat. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of that is just you can probably find a good veteran who's willing to kind of like stick around and teach guys. You know what I mean? But they are few and far between as well. So because they're usually under contract. So
Yeah.
I mean, look at what Iggy did for Memphis, man. And look how he unlocked all those
Man,
cats.
what he did for
man. Similar
Memphis,
type.
Miami, man. What he's
Yeah.
doing for the state right now.
I'm sorry.
This
I'm
dude,
sorry.
man.
I'm sorry. What did he do for Memphis?
This dude.
What did he do for Memphis?
All that good stuff.
All right,
So what's-
man.
What he do outside of make us finding someone else to boo?
Hey,
I don't know
listen.
what you're talking about, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
Memphis
okay.
was like in mediocrity. He got there, and then he turned. Listen, he got those cats focused, man.
Wow. Okay. I want you to write a nice letter to John Morant on Twitter and tell him how you feel. And Dylan Brooks. Go ahead, CC Dylan Brooks as well, and say,
No.
hey, I want you to personally thank publicly Iguodala for unlocking you guys.
No, I want to distract them. They're focused, man. They got bigger things to worry about.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I'll just take that clip and I'm gonna just put it in the Reddit for Memphis Grizzlies, and then say, this is his Instagram is. If you have any comments, go after him. So.
Hey, I wouldn't mind Iggy in the locker room, so I'll take it.
Okay, all right. I don't think he was even in the locker room. I don't think he knew where the address was for the arena.
Details.
Okay.
Nobody cares about this stuff, Chris. Man, let's keep it coming.
Let's
This
keep
is
it
not
going.
about
Let's
your
keep it going.
Iguodala hate, Chris.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, we move on, man. We will circle back to that. So, first round is here, and we're deep in the middle of it, man. We got all of the stars who have come out, except for LeBron James, and yeah, man.
The bigs keep coming.
I mean, it's LeBron. I mean, look, LeBron's the one who chose to miss that, so he should have willed his team into prosperity.
He was barely the scoring leader at age 57.
Hey,
He was very close.
hey.
Yeah, he was. He ran out of will. There was no more will to give.
I don't know, man.
He ran out of game. He ran out of games because they adjusted it. They adjusted it for the fact that he didn't play 58 games. He played 56, so they divided his total points by the 58 instead of 56. If he played 2 more games, man.
That
Probably
injury.
walk away with that title.
Hey,
Yeah.
maybe he should have. I heard he's a GM. Maybe he should have GM while he was sitting there injured. But anyway,
Yeah, what's the next topic?
Anyways,
Yeah.
most exciting, man, first round matchups, man. We got 8 matchups, man, and most of them are really good. You know, we got the Nets and the C's. We got the Grizzlies and the T-Wolves. We got the Butler and Tre out here facing up. You know what I'm saying? Body checking each other and all that, man. Y'all tell me, man, what's y'all most exciting matchup to actually that you want to see in the first round? And not Golden State Warriors. Let's just go ahead and throw that out there.
Detroit out one time.
Wow, that's really.
That's not exciting. That's not exciting.
Because it's a given.
It's not exciting.
Because it's a given, right?
No,
I think because it's a given.
Because I mean, it's not gonna be chippy. Like, it's not. There's no.
What you talking about?
Yeah, the Warriors Nuggets games are always pretty good to watch, even during the season. Like
Joker
What are you talking
be
about?
hey. Joker
those
be
games are
teed up.
always fun.
Yeah.
All right. I'll let y'all put it back on the board. Then if y'all want to talk about the Golden State Warriors, go for it.
I mean, we could just put it up there as a given, so that we don't have to mention it. So as a given, the Warriors Nuggets are a very exciting series for us to want to watch. So let's chalk it up.
for two out of the 3 people here.
You gotta
I don't know. For some reason, you don't like good basketball. Like, what's up with you? Like,
I love good basketball.
and who but the Warriors? Like passes, like the number of assists they had in their shots
It's
last
beautiful.
game. It was ridiculous. It was just like,
dude,
I'm seeing
that
like
give and
24
go.
assists.
Look, somebody shot. Curry got the rebound. Outlet to pass it to top of the key to Draymond. Curry did the magicians relocate. Joker was still underneath. He was checking Curry. Joker didn't even know the dude left. By the time he looked back, Draymond gave it back to him wet. Like
Fun.
ball moving and watching the Joker navigate this stuff. With Will Barton's trying to help him out, but they're missing two of their stars. And watching Joker navigate and still be like a beast. Come on, man.
Never sped up, plays his own game, just dominates in a way that you're like, who is this guy?
Oh wow.
So,
okay. All right.
On both sides, man, it's fun things to watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else you guys want to add on there? Or is that your most exciting? I know we got on a tangent.
That's West. That's the West. We could add that one. That's a given. I'm gonna throw in the Minnesota, Memphis. I think that's up there from the West side as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
I like them because both of the teams are like Chris talking about chippy. Those are two chippy teams, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whoo, yeah. But I like it because of the characters in the players, the personalities. But as far as the series goes, we'll see.
Okay, all right. Anything else you want to add to that, Coachella? No, or you just?
I cut Kev off.
Oh, okay. So,
you good. What you got in the East?
Oh man, listen. Boston's like deep. The bone marrow, like it's a rich. The hate for Kyrie is immense, bro. So the Nets and the Celtics, loving every minute of it, man. I'm loving every freaking minute of it, man. That is wow. Because the Celtics, they flipped the switch after All-Star. I think there were statistics out there that they were like the best team in basketball. Well, second best behind Phoenix after the All-Star break, right? Best in the East. So watching them go at it, and the C's Jalen, Tatum, you can put them on freaking Durant. And Smart, he can get under Kyrie's skin. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got a squad. So I like that. I like the narrative. I like the back and forth. We know how playoff Durant can get. Ramadan Kyrie is activated. I'm liking all this stuff, man.
Chris, I want to hear you. I want you to stir up the pot.
Man, look, no, you know what? Actually, this is probably one of the few years, or probably one of the most recent years in a long time, where the Eastern Conference is way more exciting than the Western Conference. Like, outside of the Memphis Grizzlies and the T-Wolves, because I just knew there was going to be a battle because they're both young, they're both feisty. It's the first time, they're fighting for scraps. Like, they feel like they're fighting for scraps they've never been in before, and experience or no, like, it don't matter. Like, throw all that out the window. We're just gonna see who's gonna ball out the most, and they still talking trash. You know what I mean? Ant's father and Ja's father out here talking trash. Like, it's such a fun thing, but I mean, it's fun, but it's like respectful. So I kind of appreciate that and stuff. So it's gonna be chippy. It's only gonna get chippier because you got Dylan Brooks on one side, you got Pat Bev on the other side. Like, you got Ja Morant who's gonna say something. He gonna be flexing. You're gonna have Ant gonna be flexing. You're gonna have Cat gonna be saying something crazy. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have Trip out here saying something crazy. So you just gonna it's such a fun. To me, that's the most exciting because it's the most fun. It's the most narratives, the most stories. It's the most drama. And, again, whoever wins, hopefully it's the Grizzlies. But, I mean, I know there's some people who think, T-Wolves may have a chance. And it'll be really a shame if Memphis get knocked out in the second, in the first round, being a number 2 seed. But, at the end of the day, I know it's going to be all respect. It's going to be all love. But, yeah, I mean, that could be something. I mean, we got 2 future superstars in the making. This could be a beginning of a rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
To come if these 2 teams stay the way they are.
Yeah.
So to me, that's the most exciting one. And then the East, yeah, man, C's and Boston. I mean, come on, Kyrie
That's a given.
in Boston, like
Yeah.
as rabid as those fans are, like the only thing better would have been, you know what I'm saying, the Nets in Philly. That would have been the only thing better. And Ben Simmons actually playing.
Ben Simmons playing, yeah.
Hey, with Doc playing Hacker Simmons.
Yeah, and then saying, "Hey, I don't know they can win with them." They're gonna be asking him questions like, "That's it, man." But the Eastern Conference, they have, Miami Heat and Butler and Trey Young getting in each other's faces. They got the Raptors and the 76ers being scrappy. They both got like technical fouls and Embiid and I forget the other guy's name, Steph with the A. And I mean, Bucks is going to win the Bulls game. I'm not even going to talk about them. But you know what I'm saying, everything's cheaper on the East side, and I'm excited for all of that. But
you're not. I'm surprised you left out.
Huh?
Yeah,
they getting blowed out. They getting blowed out.
Yeah,
they are getting blowed out. But like I said, they're fighting and they're being scrappy. And like I said, they're
Yes,
pulling on Embiid and they're pushing down Max. Like they're trying. You know what I mean?
They're trying.
They do everything they can. I hope Embiid makes it out there without an injury, man. Surprised you didn't mention the Jazz and the Mavs, man, because the Mavericks won without their star, and the Jazz are healthy.
That's why it's not exciting.
Exactly.
Because
for those same reasons.
So this is the thing, with Dallas, Dallas has been known as the comeback warriors. Like they always wait until the third or fourth quarter.
With Luka.
With or without Luka, because it's not the offense so much. It's really more so the defense. And
what kid is
once the defense kicks in, I feel like they kind of just take their time and then be like, all right, let's play this. We made it interesting enough. We're down 10. Let's actually go ahead and pull it out. And it's not even just Luka. I mean, you got Dinwiddie who's knocking down shots. Jalen Bronson is killing. He's almost like the new JJ Barea, essentially. And I mean, yeah, Luka is a star. Like he's the star of the show. But the supporting cast is really just like, again, they're a young team, so they're just gonna want to play and be hungry all the time anyway. So they just got that energy to get up and get down.
And picking up Spencer Dinwiddie was massive.
Priceless
for them.
Priceless.
Yeah.
For Porzingis, bruh.
Right.
10 times out of 10, I'll make that trade.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, but yeah.
Quick question.
Yeah.
I got a quick question for you, Chris. Who do you think would make it further out of the Memphis, Minnesota? So, given whoever wins, who will make it further in the playoffs? Would it be Memphis at the number 2 seed or Minnesota at the number 7 going deeper?
They would have to play.
Oh,
they had to play Golden State Warriors.
Yeah. Sorry, don't worry about that.
Look, I already got predicted that the Warriors are going to come out of that. That's why I'm not paying attention to that Dawn series because, the Nuggets. So this is what I said. I said the easiest path through the playoffs is going to be through the Nuggets. And it's going to be through the Jazz. And we talked about the Jazz for reasons.
You said that.
And Nuggets is because they don't have Jamal Murray. So you're basically it's a one-man army over there.
Correct.
So yeah, look, Warriors match up against Minnesota versus Warriors match up against Grizzlies. I would say the Grizzlies will make it further only because the Grizzlies and the Warriors have history and they kind of know each other, and they both. So the reason that Grizzlies have always been good is because they play to the Warriors' weaknesses, which is basically like length and interior presence. So they don't have no one to stop the interior paint production. They ain't gonna have no one stop the offensive rebounds. They ain't gonna have no one stop any of that stuff. And they're not really a 3-point shooting team, and they can always, again, lock up Steph Curry, get the ball out of his hands. I mean, Klay Thompson's back, obviously, but you just
they can muck it up.
Yeah, they can muck it up, and they got good on-ball defenders between Kyle Anderson, Desmond Bain. I forgot he's even there sometimes, and Dylan Brooks. They can just mix and match all day until and just try to win the war of attrition by pounding in the paint and stuff. But I would think the Grizzlies will make it further based off of that. And I mean, Draymond Green can guard Cat because Cat doesn't necessarily need a tall player to be a defender against him because he likes to play on the perimeter and he likes to shoot and he
Lisa
likes
can guard Cat at times.
Huh?
But Lisa can guard Cat at times because you're right. He stays on the perimeter.
Yeah.
Think about that too. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, I think Cat can be compromised. After that, who's left? It's D'Lo and Ant, and I mean, you can put, you know, you can use team defense on a lot of those rotations to kind of like, you know, make up for that. And their secondary with, you know, specifically with GP and Jordan Poole coming off the bench would be enough to kind of get them over the edge. In my opinion, get them over the edge for Minnesota. So that's the reason why I don't really think Minnesota's gonna make it past the second round if they do make it. But they have a chance to knock off Memphis. They just need to do everything right, you know. So they got one, and you know, if you get two, that's great. But if you
get two, yeah.
If you split, then I don't know. Like I still have strongly favor for the Grizzlies.
If you split, then the road team did what they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, and they did. They got them.
And they have.
Yeah.
They
have. Yeah.
But now you have to maintain it. I think a lot of that was adrenaline and just kind of like hype because they got in. Same thing for when Grizzlies took one from last year against the Jazz. They took game one. Yeah. They lost all the other ones. And that's just cut off that hype because they had to go through the Warriors and the Lakers. So no, I'm sorry. They had to go through they had to go through.
Was it Spurs?
I forget where they go through first. Maybe the Spurs.
But they had to go the Warriors were.
Yeah, they had to go through two teams though, and that's the thing. So, you know that you get hype coming off the play-ins going into the playoffs. So yeah, man, I think that's kind of the apex for each team.
I see. Yeah, I was curious because I feel you on everything you said, especially with the Memphis side. Because I've seen the games in Memphis and Golden State. That would be an exciting matchup.
Yeah,
that would be. Because normally we're susceptible to like good guards. We got CP. I mean,
GP.
We got GP. Now who can help out in 10-15 minutes. Mm-hmm. And if Ja had a 3.
That's next. That's coming next. That's coming next. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm looking at Giannis developing his 3, hitting 3s. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be scary, man. Next 2-3 years, that's gonna be scary.
Hey, that's no pressure, Giannis. You know what I'm saying? He already got a win under his belt, like a chip. So now he's just out here having fun. Now he can just show up as many threes as he wants. It don't matter because he got a chip and he got the Finals MVP. Yeah. So, you know, when the pressure's off, you can just live free, man. So that's that Giannis right there. So.
Did he get the max contract? He got the max contract before the chip, right?
Yeah. You know, he was a free agent. Yeah, he was a free agent and he re-signed because they're talking about. I remember Reg was mentioning that he thought that he should go somewhere else. I'm like, no, you gotta stay. You have to stay in Milwaukee because you know that's who brought you in. You got the most love there, you know, and
they went all in for him.
Yeah, and once you start moving around and jumping teams, then you know. I don't know anyone who's a Kevin Durant fan who just isn't a fan. Like locally, it's always like if you're a KD fan, you're a KD fan because either he's on your team at the moment, or you know you just a follower of Kevin Durant as a loyal fan. He can go anywhere, but like Milwaukee. I mean, this is probably their best. I shouldn't say that because they had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, so. One of their best ever to sport the Milwaukee Bucks uniform.
Yeah.
So.
Nah, for real.
Yeah.
So, anything else, man? We can wrap this up.
That's it, man. That's all the questions I have.
Okay. No, it's all good, man. All right, yeah, we can go ahead and wrap this up, man. Hey, yo, we can go ahead and start off with Kev, man, for the sign-offs. Man, I know you got something.
How you know I got something? I got nada for y'all.
You always got something, man.
Man, tonight I'm just trying to watch this Warriors game that I missed, but it's okay. We in there. I know we're gonna win this series and take it somewhere else. But appreciate y'all rocking with us as usual. Like, comment, subscribe. I gotta say that stuff. It's part of the game. Please do it. It helps us. My boy Chris is gonna tell you why it helps us. So that just keep sticking with us. We're here every Tuesday.
Yep.
Grindhouse.
Yep. Grindhouse. Kurt Chella.
Yo, speaking of our boy Antetokounmpo, so did you know? Actually, I should have phrased it that. I gave y'all the damn. Nah, I'll give you this one. I'm gonna ask you another one. So, Antetokounmpo has as many 40-point games in the finals as Curry, KD, and Kobe combined. He just pretty much averaged 40 points in the finals last year. All right, so next question. Who has more
true or false on that one? I was saying true or false. Oh.
I could have did that. Yeah, I could have did that. I could have saved it. Here's the one. Who has more finals MVPs than they do triple doubles?
Kawhi Leonard.
Damn. That's it.
Basketball trivia. Ready. Prime.
He even take a breath.
Hey, I do that so man. I be knowing stuff. But thanks for that, man. Someone in the world of YouTube or wherever, man, they don't know that. So
somebody knows.
I'm sorry to bust your bubble. I should have said Steph Curry or something.
I mean, there's only. I gotta think. I don't know how many people won Finals MVP multiple times outside of like Jordan.
Jordan, Shaq, Tim Duncan.
Shaq won it.
Shaq won it both times. I want to say, 3 times.
LeBron James.
Kobe didn't win one with them. Either way, yeah, Shaq had one, yeah.
And then LeBron James.
Yeah.
Who else has won multiple times? That's really the question.
That's kind of it's
you
kind
limited.
of short.
Yeah, you're really limited at that point. So
yeah.
So I just knew Kawhi Leonard was out here.
He only shows up for the playoffs, man.
Where is he at?
The playoffs, not play in. That's beneath him.
Oh, I see. He didn't make it to the playoffs. What you trying to
that's
say?
beneath him. The path to the playoffs is okay, I guess.
Hey,
I understand.
That's what they're saying, man. Kawhi's gonna be the first player to miss the whole regular season, and when it came up with him, like you're putting in, coach.
Both number 8 seeds are out the playoffs. Like this wouldn't have happened like 3 years ago. It's crazy, but both number 8 seeds are out the playoffs. Wow.
That when you think about that and the collapse of the Lakers, bro, like to be preseason title contenders to not even making the playoffs. Considering the fact that you had an extra 2 slots to try to make it, that's
bad.
They got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Atlanta's
in there. They were like 10, man.
Yeah. That was a sad sight to see, man. So condolences to LA fans. But you know what? Sometimes y'all need it because you know what? Y'all need to be humble. So, and with that said, I'm going to just sit here and say thank you guys for joining, man. Let us know what you think about our comments, our opinions. And again, feel free to like, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. On the podcast side, hit the 5 stars, turn on the notification bell on all that stuff, man, so you know when the new drop comes through. And if you forget, man, it's on Tuesday because why not? So until next Tuesday, guys, deuces.
Holla.